Good day everyone, and welcome to the beginner's tutorial of Soldiers Inc. by Polarum. Today we're just going to go through the initial steps that it takes to get your headquarters built up. We're going to go and check out all the different types of resources, the first type of troops, the first types of contracts, to upgrade various things within, and we're just going to kind of get familiar with the interface. So let's get started. First off, it's going to get you going right away and launch you right into a series of quests that are going to take you by the hand. And as you can see here, there's going to be an arrow pointing to exactly where it wants you to go. This only happens in the beginning, and it's really just to familiarize you with the screen layout, the different buttons, the different menus, and whatnot. So first off, it wants us to build our first building, which is a landing zone, which makes sense so that we can get our troops in and whatnot. So the landing zone, so it wants us to go to the construction menu, but it's going to take us right to it. Shows exactly where that construction menu is. That's the nice thing about this guide and how it starts off within the game. So over here on the right hand side, you can see a construction button. Let's click that, and then let's click build the landing zone. Now, as you can see, you can kind of move around buildings and put them where you like. So this kind of is nice that you can create a different customizable interface and layout. And so that's done. The first few buildings build very, very quickly. As you can see, they only take a few seconds, but later on as you progress, buildings are going to take longer and longer. The nice thing is, through various quests and whatnot, you can get boosts to speed everything up. We'll talk about that later on. Alright, the landing zone is complete, so we're going to claim that reward. As you can see, the different quests give you rewards. They give you different types of resources that you need. This is so that you don't get bogged down and slowed down in the beginning, and you can kind of get sped through and accelerate it through building the different buildings and everything without running out of resources. Next, we're going to build the munition factory. Your client has set up resupply missions for your rations with the syndicate, but you're going to need to produce your own munitions, especially if you plan on fielding offensive units. Set up a munitions factory to establish your own production capability. Alright, so let's get our munitions going. Now, munitions is one of the main resources that you need within the game. So it's really important to get these buildings up, and you can build various amounts of these as you go on, but in the beginning we're just going to build our first one. As you can see here, the different types of resources at the top are shown, and it shows exactly how many you have, and it shows your capacity as well, and how much you produce per hour. The first one is fuel. The second one is munitions, which we just built a building for, which is going to increase our production. And the last one is rations, which is the food for your troops. Also, these resources aren't just used for troop production, they're also used for building production as well. So let's claim the reward for creating that munitions factory. Next one, we want to build an oil derrick. Fuel your forces, especially your defensive units, aren't going anywhere without it. Luckily for you, Zandia has some of the richest oil reserves in the world, and it looks like no one around here is going to miss a few million barrels. Build an oil derrick to tap a local wellhead and start producing your own supply. So this is going to allow us to get some fuel. Let's put the oil derrick just right here. Like I said, it doesn't really matter where you put the buildings in the beginning because you can move them around later on, which is nice, so you can't really make a mistake in that regard. Okay, so congratulations, you gained 150 experience points and reached level 2. New rank associate. So you can see in this game there's various ranks and there's different levels. So each time you gain a level, you get a reward. And right here we got 2 drill instructors and we got a 1-minute boost. As I said earlier, these boosts can be used to increase the building time of your buildings, the building time of your troops. They can be used for a whole bunch of different things, so it's nice to get these, save them up for later on when you need them, because in the beginning, you don't really need them. The buildings build very fast. Let's claim that. Now, it wants us to build a contracting office. Networking, yes, even here, your success is going to depend on your relationships. Negotiating contracts with the major private military companies in the region will unlock access to new buildings, capabilities, and units. Go build the contracting office so your contracting officers can begin drawing up contracts, PMCs. So let's build the contracting office, which, as you can see, the arrows is pointing us exactly where it needs to. There's a whole bunch of different tabs, but the quest interface is taking us right where we need to go so that we're not slowed down and not having any issues. let's build the contracting office. Put it right there. Just going to take a few seconds to build and it'll be done. And the contracting office, as you can see, if you go into these different types of buildings, it shows you exactly what the buildings do. You can go to the info tab, and it shows that this one increases your negotiation speed by 2%. But you can upgrade all these buildings levels. It takes resources such as fuel, munitions, and rations, which we talked about earlier. And you can upgrade all these. This one can go to 22 levels. So that will get your negotiation speed up higher and faster as you go. But that's more detailed, and we'll talk about that later on, exactly what that does. And first, you kind of just want to get your primary buildings up so you can start producing the first amount of resources you need and the first type of troops you need. It's the most important thing. There's a lot to know in these games, so if you think too far ahead, you can get bogged down very quickly. So the first thing now it wants us to do is build our first contract. So the first contract we can build is the infrastructure one, which unlocks a various different types of units and buildings, as you can see. So we want to negotiate this and start building it. It only takes 5 seconds, which is really quick. But as you can see, looking through here, there's a whole chain of contracts you can do. You have to do certain ones first to unlock other ones later on, and each one of these has levels, just like your buildings, and they can be upgraded more and more, some more than others, and some only once. But these contracts will unlock new types of troops, new types of buildings that you're gonna need to progress and fight stronger and stronger enemies. So let's claim that. We got our first contract. Now this next one, it just wants us to read our contract report. So this is familiarizing us with our interface just a bit more. And you get various reports from attacking troops, unlocking contracts, upgrading contracts, when people send you resources, your friends. So you can see over here, there's a walkie-talkie. Click the walkie-talkie, it vibrates a little bit, and you can check out all your different reports. So you have a tactical tab, you have a convoy tab, you have a joint ops tab, and you have a contracts tab. The contracts is where it's going to show that you've done it. You've unlocked your different types of contracts you've been working on. So there we go. That just reminds you to do it, because sometimes you log off for a while, because sometimes things later on in the game can take 8 hours. It can take days and days. Some can even take a week. So these reports kind of just remind you of what you've accomplished, perhaps when you've been offline as well. The tactical tab is going to show all your different attacks. Your convoy tab is going to show different trades and what you've done. Joint ops is going to show things that you've done with your allies. And contracts is going to be contracts that we just talked about. Alright, claim the reward for the contracts tab. Get Mr. Black's reinforcements. So Mr. Black is kind of like the main NPC in the game. He sends you different messages, letting you know about different things that are happening, events, contests. Also, he's located at the center of the map, which is 0, 0. So the very, very center of the map, you can find him. And right now, he's kind of just sent us some units. So he sent us some reinforcements. Defensive ones that we can use. So he sent us 40 light infantry and 7 recon operators. So that's nice. So now we have defenses in our headquarters, which is nice to have. Claim that reward. Next, it's going to want us to do another contract. We're already in the contract tab here, because that's where we left off. And it wants us to unlock light infantry. Now this light infantry contract lets us build riflemen. And you can click on the contract and it's going to show you exactly what you're getting from what you unlock. So the rifleman is a light infantry type unit, and his designation is offense. So he's the first type of offense unit that we can build. He has 40 offense, and then it shows the various defense that he has. Now this unit's not meant for defending, so you don't want to use him in any way, shape, or form for that if you don't have to. Let us negotiate and unlock that. He's just primarily meant for attacking. Later on, you're going to get more defensive type units that are going to be meant for defending your headquarters rather than attacking. Let's claim that reward. Now we're going to build the barracks. The barracks is going to let us build our troops that we just made and various other ones as we progress down the chain. Let's just put the barracks right up here at the top. As you can see, it's got a couple tents. The graphics are really nice. in this game that just, it's kind of more of an artistic type look than a flashier type look, which is appealing to some people. Let's claim that. Now it's going to want us to hire our first offensive unit, the rifleman. Over here, there's the train units tab. You can click it right here. It's a shortcut menu on the right hand side here. Or you can just click your barracks that you just built, and then you can find your units here. As you can see, there's 4 different tabs up top, and these tabs let us build better and better types of troops as we go. Now, if we purchase the first one here, we can see that it goes into a queue at the top. So later on in the game, as you get more resources and you unlock all these different types of tabs, you're going to want to build troops in every single tab because they all have their own individual queues, and you want these things going 24/7. It's really important to keep building troops so you can get stronger and stronger, defend yourself better, and attack your enemies as well. Let's claim the rifleman reward. And now it wants us to progress down the contract chain even more, and it wants us to build a sapper. And the sapper is going to be our first defensive type unit. So we're going to take a look at that. We'll go in and look at him. We can do that through the contract app. As you can see, the sapper is a light infantry type unit as well, and his designation is defense. So offense and defense units can share the same building queue tab as we've just seen here. So you kind of got to strategize and pick what you would like to build first, so that you're not taking up your queue. Alright, so now it wants us to hire the sapper. Let's go to our barracks again, and let's build one of these sappers. He has 19 defense. So as you can see, defensive units are a little bit weaker than offensive units. Typically it takes 2 to 1 defensive units to beat them, but they also build faster and typically cheaper, so that's nice. It all works out in the end. And let's show you how we do use a boost here. Since we have a rifleman in queue, but we want to build that sapper, you can either boost with the in-game currency, or which you can get by buying with real money, or you can get it through quest, gaining levels and whatnot. But we have a few boosts here, so let's use a 3-minute boost and a 1-minute boost. And now that unit's done. See, now it jumps to the next queue unit, which is a sapper, and he'll be done within a couple seconds. Special ops. Okay, so let's check out this tab before we wrap up the beginner's tutorial. The special ops tabs they're considered daily quests, what they are, and you want to do these all the time. They're basically a timed queue, and you keep these going, and they offer free resources and various types of rewards. And basically you kind of want to just, every time you log on, you want to click these and keep them going. They just take time. They have different text and everything, what the mission is. Doesn't really matter in the end. It's more about just getting the resources and time-based thing. There's nothing that you physically need to do. So it's kind of like a bonus type system for logging on. So you always want to be doing it. So to wrap up this beginner tutorial, we've built our first resource type buildings, which let us get the fuel, munitions, and rations. These are vital for troop production, building production as well, and also unlocking new contracts and upgrading the levels in the contracts. Now, we've also built our first unit types, which are riflemen and sappers. You're going to want to start building these right away and keep the queues going constantly. So if you start running out of resources, go out there on the map and start raiding other people. But we're going to talk about that next in a more advanced guide, attacking, building more advanced type buildings that allow you to manage more types of units. And there's just a lot more to talk about to do with this game, guys. So thanks for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day.